Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Salty Circuit for Race 2 of the B League qualifying. In the brief break, we've had some newcomers added to the B League, and we've also had some major updates to the code from the back end and also the front end. But for now, let's get right to the qualifying. First, we are going to get a quick refresher on how the season stands. We currently have Lazy Knight 2 up in front with 25 points after an incredible win last second over Kaufmobile the sequel. Batmobile in third, No Clue in fourth, Ford Unicorn in fifth, Porsche 962 in sixth, Red Racer in seventh, and the rest of the field are new. The newcomers are actually Dallas Dominator, BK Racing, Jellyfish, and the Prototype 2 Drag. The beginning of this race will actually be started from a caution flag just to keep things a little bit simple. It will be 3 laps as always, and we will be set for some really exciting racing. Again, as stated before, we are going to be starting off from a caution formation. Leading off this race, or this qualifying race sprint, will be the Ford Unicorn, followed by the Porsche 962, actually 2 cars of the same owner, followed by No Clue, Batmobile, and the Prototype Drag. Green flag for the Prototype for all of the cars. Prototype makes a very good lunge in front of No Clue, immediately getting up in front to third place. We also have, I believe that is Lazy Knight 2 there, trying to stay up there, the race winner from last time. Following them is the Batmobile, Jellyfish, a newcomer, BK Racing, also a newcomer. Jellyfish getting spun out by BK Racing, ending up behind. That's allowing the Kaufmobile, the sequel, to pull through. What a good move for them. Up front, though, it's still the Ford Unicorn trying to fend off the Prototype 2 Drag and No Clue. But the Prototype 2 actually, I believe, is focused on a drag reduction technique based on the look, a custom move, or custom make by Neon Blade. Actually looks very good there in the all black and light blue. In the draft zone in the backstretch, it's the Prototype 2 drag car doing its best to try to stay up in front of this Ford Unicorn, but this Unicorn is doing a really good job at holding off everybody else. So same thing with No Clue being stuck behind the Prototype 2. Going a little bit wide and might allow any of these cars to pass each other, but they are not making any good mistakes here. But it's actually been a very clean race so far, and I've probably just jinxed it. Up on the inside goes Prototype 2 for the lead. We have 2 laps left to go technically, or 1 and about a quarter, or 3/4. And oh my goodness, No Clue gets dropped down the order after a very large shuffle at turn 2 there in that tight hairpin. This is a place where you don't want to be next to each other because you will have to slow down and try to avoid collisions here, as we do see the computer does not like having all these cars next to each other. And there goes BK Racing getting stuck on a wall there, going to have to get reset. Prototype 2 Drag actually does get the lead from the Ford Unicorn, and which is actually getting pushed around by, I believe that's the Batmobile. Following them is actually a newcomer, the Dallas Dominator, trying to come in there in the light gray and light blue, not to be mistaken by Lazy Knight 2, the race winner from last round. Around the outside around the inside goes the Ford, allowing the Prototype 2 to get put into second place as they went a little bit too wide outside. The Porsche there is still there, actually. After 2 laps, we are still having the first through third positioning, but not for long. It is Prototype 2 trying to make a move on the inside, trying to get that position back, challenging Ford Unicorn for at least any position, and is pushing them out really wide, and that allows Lazy Knight to come through, but they get spun by the Ford Unicorn and tries to make an adjustment off of the wall. You hate to see it. Up front, there is a massive shuffle now. All the cars are getting way too aggressive, trying to fight each other, trying to get into position, and they don't know where they're going. That's a massive shuffle for position. That leaves over a 1.5 second gap from the Prototype 2 to the Dallas Dominator and then Batmobile. Jellyfish, and I think that is Red Racer. Red Racer has had a massive uplift, actually, between the last race and this one being updated by JJ Plays. That red Ford GT40 there looking really well, actually looking really good in this sunlight here at Salty Circuit. Wide again goes Prototype 2. That seems to be a trend for them in these tight corners. They don't seem to be able to have enough grip, and they're getting a little bit too much drag reduction and having to understeer across the line. But here it is. The qualifying results for this incredible race finish is going to be Dallas Dominator, Batmobile, Prototype 2, Jellyfish, Red Racer, No Clue, the Kaufmobile, Porsche 962, the Ford Unicorn, Lazy Knight 2, and finally BK Racing. That will be your order for race 2 of the B League here at Salty Circuit. That was quite an intense moment in that race towards the end of there. But for now, we are going to take a quick break, get the car set up for the real race, and be back here for the Scrap Mechanic Racing League B League. Welcome back, everybody. And today is the day of the big race for the B League. This is going to be race 2. After an intense qualifying round, we have Dallas Dominator dominating on top, right in front of Batmobile and Prototype Drag. We saw a very intense battle throughout the entire qualifying round, and I'm really excited to see what adjustments and fighting that will happen in this race. As the cars get set up, I want to say that there are actually 3 slots remaining in the B League, so join the Discord quickly if you want to fill in the rest of the B League. Another announcement is that we will be starting the Custom or Meme League very soon. The Custom League will be much different than the Stock League, as in you guys will be designing any car that you think will do well on a track that I design, or all the tracks that I design, and submit them to me, and I will put them directly in. I will not touch them unless I have to do some small tweaks in terms of race metadata or anything like that. Other than that, though, you just submit any car you think that will work, and if it will work, we will race it. As these brave racers come around the corner getting ready for the beginning of the lap, we will be having Dallas Dominator and Batmobile leading us off. Pole position, hopefully he can win this race as his debut actually here in the B League. I believe they do have a sister car in the A League though. Everyone seems to be lined up. We're waiting for race control and we're waiting for Dallas Dominator to take it off. And there it is. Green flag. Green flag. Dallas Dominator takes a really good jump off the line, but who has a better jump is actually Kaufmobile the sequel, getting up a few paces, as well as this BK Racing there that actually came in the back, now making up 3 positions immediately at the start. In the front, it's still Batmobile actually getting passed by Batmobile actually passing Dallas Dominator, excuse me, and we have a shunt back there with the Porsche and Red Racer. You hate to see it. The beautiful remodeled Red Racer, I believe it is a 4GT40 by JJ Plays, was knocked off. However, they still have time to go as there are about 9.5 laps left. Up front, it's still Dallas Dominator and Batmobile. Batmobile leading the way into the chicane, going onto the backstretch. Actually, following them is the Ford Hoonigan. The Hoonigan actually qualified 9th and has made their way up into 3rd within that half a lap. That was very impressive. A good move on the inside by the Dallas Dominator, trying to get around Batmobile, getting behind the wall. We actually can't see what's going on right now. The camera intern is still working out some kinks. We can actually probably move these cameras around. That would probably be a good idea. Dallas Dominator going through the line, doing really well to at least solidify their position back. It seems like the pole qualifier and second qualifier are actually duking it out back here. Around the corner, it's BK Racing in 3rd, trying to go a little bit wide outside. Had to slow down to prevent any issues with the wall as we've seen in the past. And oh my goodness, a very good getting their nose in there from the Ford Hoonicorn. Doing really well to get their nose in there for, I think that is 2nd place now. It's going to have the inside run. This will be a really tight line. Oh, wow, actually makes it work. That was actually a very good move by the Hoonicorn, Dallas Dominator, and Batmobile all staying together as they went through that turn, because we have seen lots of incidents there already. Going over the, oh no, I was going to say, going through the chicane, you do not want to be this tight, as there will be problems. It looks like the Porsche 962 has had the worst of it, having a big spin out on the edge of that and almost being carried, I think, by Jellyfish there. Nowhere to be seen. Actually, I just want to say that as I see the Prototype 2 drag, as they do their signature move as going wide across that line. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe there is a suspension issue, or maybe their build is just a little bit not made for the corners that well. However, they do really well on the straights. Again, talking about the Prototype 2 drag. Up front, it is still the same 3 that we have seen in the past. It is Dallas Dominator, Batmobile, BK Racing, and Ford Hoonicorn. Coming up there, actually taking place of the Ford Hoonicorn is Jellyfish. Jellyfish making a move for 3rd. Now, making a perfect move in front of Batmobile for 3rd. BK Racing moves up into 2nd. Well, moved up into 2nd with Jellyfish moving up into 3rd. And now they are 2 by 2. Oh my goodness, BK Racing goes way too wide on there, slows down, and actually, I believe, knocks out the Hoonicorn. Oh my goodness, that puts them in the back, and that's No Clue. Actually stuck out there, actually having a really bad time out there. Going to need to recover very well. They have 7 laps left to try to get some time back. It looks like we might go into a caution formation or caution flag if No Clue still stays stuck and does not move for the next 5 seconds. I believe it is. I believe race control is going to be... Actually, no, never mind. No Clue has been... looking at the timing and scoring board, No Clue has been actually back moving, and will have time to catch up, and is now fallen behind Red Racer, however. And a great move for... I believe that was Batmobile going into the inside of this turn right here to go up into first place. It looks like, oh, that's Lazy Knight 2. The winner from last race has finally poked their nose back into this one. They want to tell us that they are not completely gone and they have not given up. Their driver, actually a really fast driver, doing a really great last-minute switcheroo, I believe, on Kaufmobile, the sequel, in the last race, and is now in the middle of the pack right now, I believe, sitting around 6th, 7th, or 8th, depending on how these chicanes go out. It looks like they will be trying to get past Jellyfish, one of the newcomers, as we've seen before. If we look at their information, we are actually looking on board with BK Racing. Brett Kaufman was a new member that joined in with a beautiful blue and pale yellow livery. Looks great. We're now on board with the first place car. Dallas Dominator seems to be doing exactly what they do. For some reason, they have always their racing team. I believe they have a sister car in the A League as well. They've been doing really well even since the first season, as I think that was Sniper's Dream that owns this team. Wow. Very intense moment for a lot of those cars there. And looks like we had a little bit of a kerfluffle now, causing a massive gap between, I believe that is 4th place, 5th place, and 6th place. Almost over like a second, maybe 2 seconds there, between BK Racing, the Ford Unicorn, Jellyfish, and I think that is Prototype 2. There is Red Racer, who has made their way back, and there is actually Lazy Knight, who seems to be a part of the kerfluffle and got the short end of the stick. Now having to fight their way past the crowd again to get up into the winning position. It seems like for this track in this specific race, having pole qualifying position is advantageous, I believe that's the way you pronounce it, because Dallas Dominator, again, is dominating yet again in this race, continuing their domination as they did a very fast qualifying, and now actually they are side by side, no longer with Batmobile, but with Kaufmobile, the sequel, I believe the 2nd place finisher from race 1 of the B League. Very good move for them. I believe they qualified, I mean, they didn't qualify horrible. Kaufmobile qualified in 7th from the last race and is now up into 1st. Very good run from them. Now we're on board with the Duck of Dallas Dominator as he tries to fight his way past Kaufmobile to get that position back and at least maybe assert a little bit more gap or speed across the rest of the pack. It seems like there is 2 packs forming, with BK Racing leading the second, being chased down by Lazy Knight 2. Kaufmobile, the sequel, doing a really good job to try to fend off Dallas Dominator, and as soon as I say it, commentator's curse, Dallas Dominator makes a great move on the inside of Kaufmobile, the sequel, and gets up front to have his first place position yet again. Oh, and as Kaufmobile tries to make a response to that move and doesn't make it work, and actually has to slow down, and that actually is allowing the Ford Unicorn to get past Kaufmobile. And yes, the Ford Unicorn will get past Kaufmobile as we're actually looking at the 2nd place right now, or 2nd pack, to see what's going on there. There's a lot of interesting passes and positions. We are actually working on a map so that you guys can see sort of what's going on real time, even though the camera doesn't see it. We are working on that. That's going to take a little bit of time in development, so we might not see that anytime soon, but that is the goal, so that we can always have at least some eye on the action at all times. Or if you guys want to actually film this in multiplayer so we can have 2 views of these races, that would be actually very helpful. So talk to me in the Discord if you think that would be something that is eligible for you. Anyways, back to the race. Ford Unicorn fighting their way, making a perfect move. Oh my goodness, you see in the background there, BK Racing having a little bit of a hang up there with Kaufmobile the sequel, but back to Ford Unicorn fighting their way and making their way, into 1st place, getting past Dallas Dominator. However, Dallas Dominator is not giving up. Wow. Not giving up that position really easily, but Unicorn is going to use their speed to fight them off. Speaking of speed, look at Lazy Knight 2. Lazy Knight 2, very creative name, coming up into 4th place in the front pack now, getting chased down actually by Kaufmobile the sequel, and Lazy moving the best they can around the outside of the corner. Wow, a really good move with Batmobile there. I believe Batmobile had a really poor acceleration out of that turn, and that allowed Lazy Knight 2 to catch up immensely. Wow, what a good move by them. Oof. Oh no, as soon as I say that, I probably shouldn't have said anything because they get spun out nearly by, I believe that was that was Batmobile, actually. I think that Lazy Knight 2 got caught up with there after that turn and going into chicane, and BK Racing now has a kerfluffle on the inside of chicane that knocks out the Ford Unicorn. Oh no, you hate to see it. The Ford Unicorn getting knocked out off the chicane from the mistake that BK Racing had, and BK Racing actually gets recovered. Oof, that is unfortunate place to be. Wrong place at the wrong time, but that's racing. We are on board now. I believe we are with Kaufmobile the sequel as they try to chase down, guess who it is? The Dallas Dominator. Absolutely dominating the grassy knoll right now as they try to solidify their first place laps. I believe, if you were keeping stats, I believe the Dominator has led the most, if not all, of the laps so far. Maybe except for a couple, but what happened there? Dominator slowing down, all of a sudden putting on the brakes. Did they have an engine failure, a misshift, or something right there? The Dominator actually having to slow down immensely and getting swallowed up by the pack. And look who it is. No clue. No clue. The sixth place qualifier has now fought their way from that mistake, being over, I think, 18 seconds back. Now is up in front, in first. Look at that. Nether Racing, I'm sure, is very excited for that move, and is hoping with 1 lap, or 2 laps technically left to go. We're coming on the end of it. We're going to have 1 lap left after they cross the line here. They will have good scoring position. Looking at the times, it looks like the best laps are actually, oh no, I look away at the lap analysis board to see who's put in the fast lap, and a massive incident between BK Racing, the Porsche 962, Red Racer again, Ford Unicorn, I believe that's Jellyfish. Wow, you hate to see it. They're going to have no time to catch up as this is the final lap. Crossing the line, it is Lazy Knight 2, neck and neck with no clue, getting chased down by Dallas Dominator, Batmobile, Prototype 2, Drag, and BK Racing, who has kept their nose in there. Very impressive. Oh my goodness, it's a very intense battle, and Batmobile gets pushed out very wide, has to make their way back on very slowly so they don't crash into anyone else coming on to the track. And it's now a neck and neck battle through the chicane with Lazy Knight 2, Prototype Drag, no clue. BK Racing making an intense move around the outside, has to slow down so they don't hit the wall. Dallas Dominator is still not giving up yet. Lazy Knight's going to be there, and there goes Dallas. Dallas moving, making an incredible move using the slipstream of the other cars to get up into the front place. Holy moly, it's what Prototype 2 Drag does their... What? Oh my goodness. Dallas Dominator makes an incredible move to try to get past the cars and does. Oh my goodness. Very intense finish there with Dallas Dominator all of a sudden coming back out of nowhere, staying out of trouble, and getting past Prototype 2, Lazy Knight 2, and BK Racing all in the last 3 corners of this race. Holy crap, what a race, everyone. We are going to be waiting for the rest of the cars to finish, and we will get back to you after that. Finishing us off is Kaufmobile, the sequel. Unfortunate race for them. I believe they got the short end of the stick there, which is very unfortunate. But how about that for the fastest lap of the race by Red Racer with a 1 minute flat .707. Not bad. We have to look into the archives. We are now tracking the track records, which is actually really good. But congratulations to Dallas Dominator, Prototype 2, and Lazy Knight 2 for their podium finishes. All right, now the moment we are waiting for. After that intense race, we are going to check on the season standings. After that win, that puts Lazy Knight 2 still up in front with 40 points, followed closely by the Dallas Dominator. Batmobile with 25, not scoring any points, no clue with 20. Prototype 2, 18. Kaufmobile with 18. Porsche 962 with 14. BK Racing with 12. Ford Unicorn with 11. Red Racer with 8. And Jellyfish with 4. Wow. What an intense race. Next race, we will be adding 2 more entries that just missed the cut for this race, but we are excited to see them as we have some really cool designs for them. But that concludes today's session. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, night, or evening, and I will see you next time.